Try and turn your phone off of vibrate as well when you have a sec. It's easy. Go general, go settings, and then sounds haptics. Turn off the top two. Super easy. Okay, yeah, see we're live. Awesome. Hold on. Okay, cool. All right, yeah, let's do it. Let's unmute. Let me know when you're gonna do it. Count it down. Okay. Okay. We are literally live. Everyone can hear us. That's hilarious. Yeah, we're not muted at all. That's hilarious. Okay, put the screen over. Yeah, we were not muted at all. Everyone could hear us, but what's up? Hello, guys. Welcome into the live stream. What is today's date? Oh my goodness. It is the 23rd of March. So welcome in. And we have a 2021 Dynasty SuperFlex mock draft for you on the show today. It's going to be pretty fun. We have almost a full lobby here. We've got a bunch of our followers who are mocking with us. We're really excited for it. We shout out to Taco Bell, shout out to Paulie D, shout out to Srimanth, Tane, G Baby, Noah, Chris, Tommy, all the boys who are watching the live stream while we are going to draft together. It's going to be a fun day. Badaki, why don't you tell people how they can join these mock drafts if they want to do them with us, with this community? How can they join? Yeah, it is what it is. Shout out to technology. Okay, now quickly, just so everyone knows the rules of this mock draft. Everyone who's mocking, I hope you are listening because we're about to tell you everything you need to know before we start. Okay.
Right.
Here's what we're doing on today's show. We are going to do 10 rounds. Okay. So you're going to be able to draft your entire starting lineup in a couple bench pieces. We're going to be doing a 10-round mock draft. It's a PPR format, but it's a Dynasty SuperFlex format as well. So that means that your rosters will be one quarterback, two running backs, two wide receivers, one tight end, and a SuperFlex. If you're not
Right.
familiar with SuperFlex, um, oh, now Remy says he can't hear.
No.
Oh, no, I can hear. If you're not familiar with Superflex, guys, can everyone hear us? Everyone in the live stream, can you give us a thumbs up? Everyone watching on podcast, sorry about this, or listening on podcast. But if you can hear us, give us a thumbs up. But essentially,
Okay.
what a Superflex is a Superflex allows you to play a quarterback at the flex position, right? So you no longer need to only play running back, wide receiver, tight end. A super flex means you can play a quarterback there, so you can start two quarterbacks on any given week. This means that in super flex leagues, quarterbacks are more valuable, guys. So we do expect to see some quarterbacks going in the first round. The other thing you need to consider in this mock draft is that it is a dynasty league. So you need to value youth over veterans, right? So a
Right.
guy like AJ Brown is more valuable than a guy like Julio Jones. A guy like, let's say, Saquon Barkley is going to be more valuable than a guy like Derrick Henry.
Right.
So, for those who haven't played Dynasty, it is a really, really fun way to play. Um, we really enjoy it. But one thing I will quickly say, a quick tip for anyone who does want to start a Dynasty league, make sure that if you start a Dynasty league, it needs to be people that you know really well and that you have a good relationship with,
Yeah.
right? You don't want to start a Dynasty league with people that you kind of know and they might be committed, because a Dynasty league, you want at minimum to be 5 years, because the whole point is you want to build this dynasty. You want to build this amazing team. So that's just a little tip, because Badaki, we did a Dynasty league once and it lasted 1 year. It was not
Yeah,
good.
it wasn't good. It's all about longevity. It's all about playing for the long haul. So the thing is a mental thing, because if you are playing in a redraft and you start off 0-5, it's like, I'm just gonna tank it. It's whatever. I'm done. My season's over. But for
Yeah.
Dynasty, if you start 0-5, it's either you never want to be in the middle. You either want to be on the top or you want to be in the end, because tanking in Dynasty is a real thing, because you can get draft picks or you can get into a
Oh
position
yeah.
where you can trade or get future players, which is all of it's all that's the whole part of the whole what am I trying to say? The whole
Yeah.
fun. It's fun. That's really it.
It's good because in a redraft league, if you are the worst team, there's nothing good about that. You're just terrible.
Yeah.
And you did a really bad job at fantasy that year. But if you're the worst team in a dynasty league, you will have the first overall pick in the next year when you draft those rookies. So a guy like Trevor Lawrence, you're probably looking at Najee Harris, those kind of guys. But all right, but you go ahead and pull up that mock draft screen for us. What
Yeah.
we're going to do is we're going to randomize the teams. So everyone watching, we're going to go ahead and randomize it. And you will find out your draft position. Let's see. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Randomized. All right. So
Bro,
just
I think
quickly before we
I got
start,
the same one. I think it was last time.
I'm at the 6 again. Oh my gosh.
Should
I
we just
hate drafting at the
we
6.
should randomize again just for the lulz.
Nah,
Okay.
I can't do that. Actually, does anyone in the chat because I bet you people who are actually part of this draft like their draft position, Badaki. We can't change it because we don't like it.
Right.
All right.
I guess I want
Badaki's
to.
drafting at the 1-3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm drafting at the 1-6. And we've got our other followers. We have a full mock draft. This is awesome. Full mock draft full of all of our followers.
That's what's
So this
up.
is going to be really fun. All right. So we're going to go ahead and begin the draft, guys. Try your best to get through the draft quickly if you're listening. So we can comment on the draft for everyone listening on the podcast and for everyone who is watching live on YouTube. All right, let's go ahead and begin the draft.
All right.
Here we go. It's your white boy is up. He takes CMC. No surprise there, Badaki.
No surprise here. I mean, this is kind of what you expect. Look, I guess in ideal world, a lot of people think, Patrick Mahomes goes, or, more quarterback, because this is a dynasty startup. So look,
Yeah.
and this is a good example here. I'm going to switch it up. I know last time I did it differently, and I'm going to switch it up because I actually value quarterbacks higher. I mean, running backs higher, and I would have taken Saquon, Alvin, Dalvin. So here in this position, I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes since this is a dynasty league. So Patty off the board for me at the one.
SuperFlex Dynasty.
Yeah.
So just so everyone listening knows what's happened, CMC goes 1-1, Saquon goes 1-2, Badaki's taken Patrick Mahomes at the 1-3, and wow, our first surprise of the day, Justin Jefferson goes at the 1.4.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he would have returned to whoever's drafting at the 4 there. Srimath is drafting at the 4. I don't think Justin Jefferson would have returned. So I get it. I think it just might have been a little bit too early for me. But, the thing I have learned with Dynasty, Badaki, is everyone's going to draft differently.
Yeah.
And there's so many different strategies you can take in a Dynasty league.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Like, it's in 5 years. Who knows where these players will be? All right, I am on the clock at 1-6, my least favorite draft position to be at the 6. And a guy staring me in the face. I feel like I can't pass him up. A big, big future, a young back. promised, hopefully, a starting role with most of the touches in his offense. That is
Right.
Jonathan Taylor.
JT.
Jonathan Taylor goes off the board at the 1.6. I think that's as low as he's going to go in a Dynasty Superflex startup.
Yeah, look, I no, I mean, if people really value quarterbacks higher, I would expect more quarterbacks to go here. I would expect Patrick,
Yeah.
Josh Allen, maybe not Lamar, but Kyler Murray. That's who I expect the 3 quarterbacks to go in the top seven picks, in my opinion.
I feel like you'll see probably 2 to 3 in the first round and a half. I don't
Right.
know that they go that high, but I agree. They're going to go higher than your normal redraft league.
Yeah.
But
Every draft is
after
different. Let's be honest.
No, for sure. After Jonathan Taylor, Alvin Kamara goes at the 1.7, then Swift at the 1.8. Love both of those picks. I think they make sense. Swift has a bright future.
Yep.
If they can figure out how to get him the ball and not Jamal Williams, it will be a really fun year.
Right.
But who's to say if that's going to happen? Paulie D takes Tyreek Hill at the 1.9. But Aki, you can't go wrong. Tyreek
No.
Hill
Yeah.
with Patrick Mahomes.
You love it. Tyreek is going to be this guy that's going to come in and he's going to continue to dominate in his position. J.K. Dobbins, Noah takes him at the 110. Young, fresh
Love
legs
that.
there. Young, fresh
Yeah.
legs.
I love the pick. I love J.K. Dobbins. I feel like this is going to be a big year for J.K. We haven't talked about this on the podcast yet,
No, yeah.
but I feel like a big year for J.K. Dobbins is on the way. And I think it's something we should have saw last year, and the Ravens know that, right? The
Yeah.
Ravens are like, why didn't we use this guy earlier? But I think it's his time to shine. Kyler Murray is our second quarterback coming off the board at the 111. I like the pick. I know some people are not as high on Kyler than, let's say, Josh Allen. I will say both are pretty much can't miss quarterbacks in fantasy, especially for a dynasty league looking at the future. Devonta Adams falls to the 112.
This is crazy.
And that's good value in a
That's
dynasty
great.
league.
I think that's really good in my opinion.
Because you're still going to get prime performance from him for the next 2 to 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So there's different strategies you can take when you're doing a dynasty league. You can either say, I want to draft right now. I want to completely look at the future and only take young guys, or you can do a mix. So it
Yeah.
really depends on what falls to you. But I like the way that Tommy started here at the 112, at the 12 spot. He's got Adams and Sanders. Sanders still a bright future and a lot of hope from what we saw with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, look, I love Miles Sanders. I think we spoke about it on our podcast a little bit, and how Miles Sanders, I think he's going to have a bounce back year. Obviously, it's a new offense, a new quarterback, a lot of different weapons is going to be around him. Obviously, Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson, all both left or got cut. And I think Miles Sanders is just going to be this workhorse. And, the new head coach is going to, he's going to come in and give Miles the touches, in my personal opinion, because they need to give Jalen Hurts the opportunity to get a mix of both, of a run game and a pass game. So I like that.
Yeah,
in my opinion. DK Metcalf at the 2-2.
Off the board at the 2-2. What a way to start. Kyler Murray, DK Metcalf. That's a fun team to start in a dynasty league.
That's young too. That's what it is. That's the key thing. This is you can have these guys for the next 4 years and you're chilling. You're solidified. Yeah. We have a solidified quarterback and a solidified wide receiver. I mean, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, I agree. Chris Godwin is the next off the board at 2-3. Chris Godwin, we talked about him a lot on the podcast this offseason. He's not that old. A lot of people think he's older than he is. He's only 24 years old. Yeah. There's a massive ceiling for the rest of his career. Here's the issue in Dynasty. How long will Tom Brady be around? And who's there afterwards? That's the only thing that worries me a little bit. But I like the pick. A little bit too early for me, but I understand it. Cam Akers goes next at the 2-4. Nick Chubb at the 2-5, and Derrick Henry at the 2-6. Do you want to talk about those while I make my pick?
Yeah, look, obviously, let's go back to Cam Akers. Cam Akers, young, fresh legs. Obviously, Malcolm Brown left. They traded him away, or he got signed. I forgot who he got signed with but I'll figure that out later. But yeah, Tyreek and Cam Akers.
Dolphins.
Yeah, the Dolphins. There you go. Tyreek and Cam make is great value there, in my opinion. Two young, fresh guys, Swift and Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, I think we both have the same concern with Chubb's knees, and then Derrick Henry, the older guy, coming in at the 2-6. Well, I think this is okay. I like Derrick Henry in this position. I think it's still a little too high, but it's not as high as we've seen in previous drafts.
I'm going to make a pick here, and it's going to upset some people, but I don't think it's too high in a dynasty league.
Oh
And
no!
you know who I'm taking.
Oh no!
I'm taking Antonio Gibson. Am I a Washington fan? Absolutely, I'm a Washington fan, but I see massive upside for this guy's future. And I think at the 2-7 to start Jonathan Taylor, Antonio Gibson, I'm feeling really great. So I know you're probably upset because you wanted to take him
Uh,
at the turn.
I'm not. I wasn't expecting him to go, and that was the guy I had my eye on with Stephon Diggs there. But no, I love Antonio Gibson. I think is amazing value. You have two young guys coming there on your team. You know that they're gonna be getting touches throughout the next at least 2 to 3 seasons. So you're chilling there. Stephon Diggs go at the 2-8, and then Josh Jacobs at the 2-9, which makes my
I
decision.
will say quickly, I think Josh Jacobs is too early there,
Yeah,
personally.
I think so as
With
well.
Drake coming in. I know he's not on a long contract, but I just think it's a little bit too early. He probably should fall to the third or fourth round. But there is still upside there. I love Josh Jacobs, and anything could happen. But that's why we mock. But Doc, you're on the clock here.
Yeah,
Patrick
and
Mahomes was your first pick.
yeah, and this makes my decision a lot easier. Stephon Diggs goes off the board, and I'm gonna once again. I know I always talk about valuing running backs a lot higher, but I'm gonna go quarterback, wide receiver here, and my second guy is gonna be AJ Brown. I love
Oh,
this pick.
love it.
Uh, I mean, we all know what he did last year. Obviously, he was hurt in the first couple games. He just came back and ooh, Travis went next. I was hoping he'd come around in the third. But yeah, I love AJ. I love AJ Brown, and then obviously Travis goes at 211, which is I think in
Yeah, and
Saquon and Travis.
that's a great way to start. I will say quickly on AJ Brown, I want everyone to remember that last year there was Jonnu Smith and Corey Davis in that
Mhm.
offense.
Mhm.
They have not signed really anyone to replace those people, not at the
Mhm.
same talent level. AJ Brown is primed for another wide receiver one finish this year. I would almost bet the house on it that he finishes as a wide receiver one, not the wide receiver one, but a wide receiver one. In a dynasty league, I'm taking AJ Brown personally over guys like Chris Godwin, and Stephon Diggs is where it's kind of murky for me. So I love the
Let
value pick there.
Let me ask you a question really fast before we move on. AJ Brown, if the Titans, if they bring in a young receiver, Elijah Moore, Rondell Moore, we saw his pro day today,
Yeah.
absolutely crazy. Someone that can be that slot receiver like a Corey Davis are they going to take any attention away from AJ
Yeah,
Brown?
of course. I mean, if they draft a wide receiver that early, of course. But I don't think at that point it's going to take away.
Okay.
It's like the conversation with Curtis Samuel in Washington. I feel like it helps Terry McLaurin and it helps Curtis Samuel. So
Mm.
all right, Josh Allen goes at the 212, which is an amazing pick for real. Whoever's drafting at the 1.1, you're killing it. You started Christian McCaffrey, Josh Allen, and DeAndre Hopkins. That
Mhm.
is a beautiful way to start a Superflex dynasty draft. Really well done. And then Jones goes at the 3-2. I like it, but Docky, you're back on the clock here.
Mhm.
You
I'm back on the
started
clock.
Patrick
Yeah.
Mahomes and AJ Brown. There's another Chief who's still on the clock.
There is another
No
Chief
one
that's still on
wants
the clock,
him.
but I'm actually not going to take a Chief. I'm going to take someone that's on the San Francisco 49ers, and his name is George Kittle. Once again, I'm really big on running backs, but this is the whole point of a mock draft. It's a little bit different. Patrick Mahomes, AJ Brown, George Kittle. Ooh, ooh.
Yeah. No. I think this is definitely not your strategy, but that's what's fun is you don't always do your strategy, right? You
Yeah.
kind of switch it up during a mock draft. All right, so you go Kittle, you start Mahomes, AJ Brown, George Kittle,
No running backs, so
and
we're going to see who's
no
going to
running
come to
backs
me.
yet, and that's going to be interesting for you
Mm-hmm.
going forward. That's going to be a hurdle. All right, so Lamar Jackson goes at the 3.4, and then after him Zeke Elliott at the 3.5. That will be the most talked name in redrafts and dynasty leagues. Ezekiel
Absolutely.
Elliott.
Absolutely.
What is the value? And I think that is a question that we don't know the answer to just yet.
Yeah, it's hard to say, Look, I think Zeke is gonna have a. I think the Cowboys are a scary team. Obviously, I love the Giants, NFC East. Cowboys is gonna be a scary team. Dak is back. Zeke is back. They're gonna. CeeDee Lamb is a beast. It's gonna be something scary, I believe. In the next couple years, maybe for dynasty perspective, long term, I don't know. But Zeke next year, I think he'll have a good year.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and because we can play two quarterbacks, it's super flex. I'm gonna lock up my quarterback one and a great future quarterback, Justin Herbert.
Ooh,
It
okay,
might be a little bit too early there at the
okay.
3-6. It might be a little too early, but I hate drafting at the 6 spot. I genuinely hate it. So I hope that he would have fallen to me, but I can't promise that. There's just so much that happens between your picks when you're drafting right in the middle in a snake. There's literally the most time from any position to try and strategize. So it's frustrating,
Yeah.
but I love starting Herbert, Taylor, Gibson. And as you can see, I'm prioritizing youth as well with this roster. Um, None of these guys have played more than 1 year. Calvin Ridley goes at the 3-7. I like the pick. Calvin Ridley
Yeah,
there is
Calvin. Yeah.
great value. Um, you started the 1-7 spot with Alvin Kamara. You've got Derrick Henry, and now you've got Calvin Ridley on this squad. Really good way to start. I think Henry might have been a little bit too early, but that's just personal preference. But I love the Ridley pick there, Badaki.
Yeah, I love the really pick. I think it's amazing value. And look, there's two names that I still don't see off the board that I kind of want to mention really fast. Is
Wow.
mm,
Okay, go ahead.
really quick. Is my thought process is MT and Julio Jones, which is still out there and is about to be the start of the fourth
And I
here.
think they should be. I
Yep.
think they shouldn't be taken yet,
hmm
personally.
Which is great. Clyde
Okay,
though, talk to me.
Clyde goes at the 3-9, which is late for Clyde. I think it's good value. The only thing that worries me about Clyde is I'm just worried.
Look,
It's not great analysis behind it, but I
no.
am worried. But
I
I think at 3-9, that's great value.
Look, I'll be honest with you. There is upside. Was it Damian Williams? They released Damian Williams, and they're not going to re-sign him to that contract. That I believe
Yep,
that Clyde is going
for
to be
sure.
the main guy. What is it going to look like? We don't know yet. Obviously, they had
Yeah.
an array of running backs on that team last year, but I think I think in this area right here at the 3-9 is decent. Okay.
Yeah, it's good value because he's still in a great offense. Hopefully there will be progression going into this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I like to pick at the 3-9. I think that's where I'm comfy taking him,
Yeah.
Clyde, in a dynasty league.
Just think about where he went last year. He was going in the
Yeah.
first. He was going where JT was at right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy. James
Okay,
Robinson.
so James Robinson at 3-10. Take us through what's happened so far.
Yeah, James Robinson at the 3-10, I think, which is great. Great value there as well. Allen Robinson at the 3-11, then Austin Eckler at the 3-12. I
Mm-hmm.
Look, I think all
Eckler's
the
another one that's hard to value
mm,
in a dynasty league.
he is a little bit hard to value. They did give him that contract. I need to double check when his contract is going to end, but I don't if they the only way I'm concerned is if they bring somebody new on this team. I don't
He
think
still has 2 years on that contract, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Um, and just quickly, I know that we're hyped about that pick that just went off the board, but just quickly, he's only 25 years old. So there's still a good 3 years left for him to be a great running back. Badaki, what just happened that just blew everyone's mind?
Mac Jones will have the full one. The first rookie in this mock draft has just gone. Mac Jones, Tommy C27, is taking Mac Jones. I'm wondering where he thinks Mac Jones is going to fall for him to take him at the 4-1. This is his first quarterback. He has Devontae Adams, Miles Sanders, Austin Eckler, and then Mac Jones. Mind you, there's still a lot of good quarterbacks like a Deshaun Watson, like a Joe Burrow, like a Russell Wilson, a Dak Prescott. He's taking Mac Jones over this guy. I'm interested to understand why, but I maybe I
Hey, this is why we do mock drafts. This is
exactly,
why we do mock drafts.
exactly.
Look, in all honesty, it's too high. It's too high for Mac Jones there. Um, I think that's the first rookie to go off the board is Mac Jones.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think Trevor Lawrence should be the first rookie. I think Mac Jones should probably be the third, fourth, or fifth rookie off the board.
Yeah,
But this is why we mock. And at the end of the day, if someone loves Mac Jones,
They will do that.
Take a chance on him.
Exactly.
But I will say, here's the thing, just quickly, you have to know where players are going because Mac Jones would have been available on your next turn. I guarantee it. I guarantee he would have still been there.
Mm,
Um, so CeeDee Lamb goes at the 4-2. I love the pick. I not sure if that was not a pick, but regardless, CeeDee Lamb has a bright, bright future ahead of him.
yeah, he
I
does.
don't like that you started quarterback, wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver, but I like the value of a CeeDee Lamb that late. Noah Selby's on the clock here. Let's see what he's gonna do. He takes Terry
Scary Terry.
McLaurin,
Scary
and he
Terry.
just tears my heart in two with that pick. He just absolutely destroys me because I was hoping Terry would fall to me. Terry at the 4-3. Is that good value in Dynasty?
Yep. I think it's great if you really look at and see who was still on the board. Michael Thomas, T. Higgins, Mike Evans. I guess quote unquote the next best available according to Sleeper here. But I think Terry here is great, especially Chris Godwin, Terry. You know, obviously you love Terry, especially with Curtis Samuel coming into the mix there. They're gonna open up a lot for Terry in this coming year.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be fun to see.
Yeah.
All right, Dak is at the 4-4.
Mm-hmm.
Great value there, especially in a super flex league to get Dak in the 4th round. You
Joe.
started your draft. Tyreek Hill, Cam Akers, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Dak Prescott. I love it. And it,
Yeah,
it is
that's
very
good.
much a win now team as well.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon at the 4-5, Badaki.
Yeah, Joe Moneybag and Mixon. Look, I'm not upset about this pick.
I am.
Honestly, I don't think it's terrible. I mean, are you mad because you wanted him?
No, I just wouldn't. I personally wouldn't have taken him that early.
Who would you have taken over him that's still available? Oh, I mean, obviously your pick is about to come, so I'm assuming maybe it was somebody that you had your
I'm
eye on.
about to take the first running back rookie in the draft.
No,
Okay.
okay, let's see.
And with this pick, let me explain. I'm assuming that he's going to fall to a team that's going to utilize him. The
Mm-hmm.
Steelers.
Okay,
Let's say he falls to the Falcons. I'm assuming he's fallen into a good offense here with this pick. I'm taking Najee Harris at the
right,
4-7, the first rookie running back off the board. And that's who I was going to highlight. I would have taken over Joe Mixon. I
right.
think we've
Okay.
seen the best out of Joe Mixon already, personally. I would love to be wrong on that because I am a fan of Joe Mixon. But personally, I think we have seen the best of him already, Badaki. So I don't think there's top 5 upside for him. I think there is top 5 upside for Najee Harris in the next 2 or 3 years, right?
Yeah, look, and I do completely agree with you. There's definitely upside, and my question is to you. For example, one of the teams that you named was the Falcons, right? Now
Mhm.
with Mike Davis going there, we saw what he did for CMC, and if Najee does go to that team, do you see hypothetical? Obviously, do you see a split backfield going on that team,
Yeah,
and
that
does
could
that
happen
affect you?
for sure. It could happen. It doesn't affect me in Dynasty because I think whoever drafts Najee will have him as their long-term workhorse. And
Right.
also, there's just crazy talent attached to Najee Harris. And when there's a guy who has crazy talent like that, he's going to create opportunities within an offense.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how I feel about him. That's how I felt about Gibson last year coming in.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean? How is Gibson going to be a good fantasy value? I remember people saying that in the Washington offense. He's just a very talented guy. Two very different players, Najee and Antonio Gibson, but the point remains the same. Right after Najee Harris at the 4-8, our first rookie wide receiver goes off the board in
Mm-hmm.
Jamar Chase. I believe the guy who's mocking with us is an Eagles fan, so he might believe that Chase is going to Philadelphia.
Yep.
But regardless, I like the pick. I like Chase there at the 4-8. Some people might say it's too early, but you have to keep in mind we value rookies very high in a dynasty startup.
That's right. So Jamar Chase went, which is great. Monty went 4-9, and then the second running back at the 4-10, which is me. I picked Travis Etienne once again. I see him going to the Falcons, the Jets, somewhere that he's going to be the workhorse there. I'm excited about this pick, and I believe. I mean, he had a great pro day. He put on a couple pounds. He worked out, and I think he's going to just be this guy that's going to come in
Yeah.
and make a statement in the NFL.
Yeah, I like it. I like the pick for Etienne. My favorite comp to Etienne, and again, I want to preface this by saying they are not the same players, but I see him very much being able to create an Alvin Kamara type role for himself
Mm-hmm.
within an offense.
I see that. I see
So
that happening.
I think he's the best pass catching back in the draft. So I'm excited to see where he lands. T. Higgins goes right after him at the 4'11, and T. Higgins might be the most under-talked, undervalued wide receiver in Dynasty.
Mm.
He's attached to a good young quarterback in Joe Burrow, and he showed last year the amazing talent that he had. I love the pick. Let's talk about the last pick of the 4th round, Keenan Allen.
Right.
Is that good value for a vet like that?
I mean, if we look at it, he has D Hop, which I think he's still in his prime. This is, if he wanted to go with 2 vets and maybe a young guy in the middle there or towards the end of the drafts, then maybe I can see, a Rondale Cooper Cup maybe coming back to him, a DJ Chark maybe coming back to him, Deontay Johnson coming back to him. So those are kind of like maybe a little bit younger, and if he kind of gives him that longevity later on, so I like it. I personally like it. I think there's other picks that I would have taken over him in if just age
Yeah.
wise, but I like it. So
Okay.
he goes
Now,
Keenan Allen.
just quickly before we go to the next round, whoever's watching on YouTube, if you could please drop a like on this video, that would be awesome. If you can subscribe and turn those notifications on so you don't miss when we do our next live mock draft. We're trying to build our YouTube community, so I would love for you to be a part of that. Okay, to start the 5th round, I love the Ayuk pick at 5-1 because now our 1.1 is still killing this draft. I don't know if I would have taken Keenan there, but there's still good years left on Keenan. But CMC, Josh Allen, DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen, and Brandon Ayuk while Badaki is on the board. It's a great, great way to start a draft. The big surprise here is obviously Aaron Rodgers at the 5-2. I think it's way too early, if I'm honest. I think it's way, way too early for Aaron Rodgers there. I just don't believe that there is going to be a ton of value beyond 3 years from now. And that's how we have to think.
Mm-hmm.
I would have much rather taken Deshaun Watson, maybe a young guy like Trevor Lawrence.
I guess if he...
No.
Unlucky he took him. GG's.
Damn it. Okay, well, I literally right before my pick, someone took Kyle Pitts, and that was who I was about to draft. Bruh,
reevaluation.
I'm devastated. I have no words. I'm just purely devastated.
Yeah. Look,
all right.
Aaron Rodgers.
With my pick.
Really cool.
Sorry, I'm gonna quickly. Yeah, go ahead. You have 30 seconds before I make my pick.
No, I was gonna say I think Aaron Rodgers is great there. I think if the season started today, the best option there could have been Aaron Rodgers. Let me rephrase that. He's in the top 3 that's left still on the board, in my opinion. So it's a personal preference, but I definitely see other people having value over it. Why you have Aaron Rodgers value under other people, or other people over Aaron Rodgers?
Because it's a dynasty league, and I feel like there are better options out there. Okay, I'm gonna take Deshaun Watson, and I think it's great value in the 5th round. This is assuming there are no legal issues, right? This is obviously if it comes out that there is something that's happened, I wouldn't have taken Deshaun Watson there. But what I wanted to do was take Kyle Pitts, but Kyle Pitts went 1 pick before me, and it just ripped. You guys are just ripping my heart out. I don't know if you guys have listened to the pod, but you guys know how high I am on him. So that's painful, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
You took Chris Carson at the 5-3. Quickly to revisit that.
Yeah, I was juggling between Javonte Williams and Chris Carson, and like I'm drafting as if the season was going to start this week. I don't know what Javonte Williams is at currently right now, and let's say he's not the workhorse there. I think Chris Carson is a great it's a good even mix for me to get a young running back and then a kind of a young vet. I also just signed 2-3 years back with Seattle, so I kind of like that pick, and I think it was a good pick in my opinion. I think it's good value there. I mean, I think maybe I took him a little bit too early, maybe a couple picks too early, but I like it. I like it here at the 5-3.
Yeah, no, I don't hate it. Russell Wilson was off the board after my pick of Deshaun Watson. Then we have a run of not a run, it's just players were drafted. Amari Cooper goes off the board.
Mm-hmm.
Amari Cooper should be the second wide receiver drafted after CeeDee Lamb on this Dallas Cowboys team. There's no question about it. He should be the second wide receiver taken. And I'm not so sure that in redrafts, I'm even taking Amari over CD this year.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I
I like
completely
the
agree.
pick, but I think I'm taking CD if I have an option of one of the two. Mark Andrews is the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth tight end off the board. Yep, quick math. Shout out to me.
Quick maths. Yeah.
Is that good value there for Mark
Look,
Andrews?
I believe so. You know, if we go and look at who else is still on the board here, T.J. Hawkinson, obviously, and then it goes to these rookies: Brevin Jordan's, Pat Firemouth, Noah Fant, Mike Gesicki. I think it's great value there. Uh, you know, yeah, I love it. I like the pick.
Okay. Cool. We have a couple rookies coming off the board there. Noah at the 10 draft position takes Trevor Lawrence. It's his first quarterback. I think that's great value there. A young guy, a lot of potential.
Mm-hmm.
And then Javonte Williams goes at the 5'11. I
That's right.
am obsessed. We are both obsessed with Javonte Williams.
Yep.
Love this pick. I think you got great value. And starting off with 3 wide receivers doesn't hurt as much if you get Javonte Williams with this position.
Yeah, and then obviously, I look. I personally like Javonte Williams. Like you said, we both love him. I really hope he goes to a team that he can get a huge workload. He just needs opportunity. Give him opportunity, and
Yeah,
we'll see something special out of him. Hunter Henry at the 5'12 there. I think is probably the best next available tight end. Maybe Jonnu Smith is
it's
still
too
out
early.
there.
It's too early to me, to be
Yeah,
honest.
Jonnu Smith is still out there.
TJ Hawkinson, you're not taking TJ
Yeah,
Hawkinson
T.J.
over Hunter
Hawkinson,
Henry?
absolutely, absolutely. I'm looking at it now. Let's see, T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you, absolutely. And then Mike Evans on the turn. How do you feel about Mike Evans?
I think this is probably where proper value is now given for Mike Evans this late in the draft.
Okay.
6'1". I think that is proper value. I do want to quickly talk about Miles Gaskin at the 6'2". I think personally, guys, there's no way that Miles Gaskin is the workhorse running back in this offense, even this year. Personally, I don't think he's ever going to be a workhorse guy. So I think it's too early, in my opinion, to take Gaskin there. Jerry Jeudy goes off the board next. Could be an amazing steal if he gets a great quarterback. Then we have DJ Moore and Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith is the 6'5". I like the Devonta Smith pick there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of opportunities for him to be a PPR monster after the catch type guy. I'm upset because I was hoping he would have fallen to me. I was hoping that would be my first wide receiver, but I understand the pick.
Yeah, I definitely understand the pick. I mean, imagine him with the New York Football Giants. Obviously, you know how to throw in my New York Football Giants.
Why? We always have to talk about the Giants.
Because I love the Giants. You talk about. I mean, you spoke about Antonio Gibson. He's on
Yeah,
your
you know
team.
what? You're right. You're right. You're
You
right. You're
know.
right. My bad. My
So,
bad. My bad.
anyways, look, I would like Devonta Smith come to the Giants or Jalen Waddle. Either one. I doubt those guys will fall. Well, I doubt Devonta Smith is going to fall. But I like this pick. I think he's going to have a great opportunity in the league if he falls in the right spot.
Yep, I agree. All right, we have Kenyon Drake going off the board next. Way too early for Kenyon Drake there at the 6'6". All right, I need a wide receiver, right? Because I started 3 running backs and 2
Oh
quarterbacks
boy.
to start the draft, and I'm not upset about where the draft has landed. My pick would have been Chase Claypool here had Juju not resigned. But I feel like I can take another player who has more upside because I think he'll go to a team that needs him more than the Steelers need Claypool. And that
Mm-hmm.
player is Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle is my first wide receiver. I always
Wow.
tend in these drafts, you know, running backs and quarterbacks are what I value the most.
Mm-hmm.
And then wide receivers, there's so much depth that you can wait to get a good wide receiver.
Right. Yeah. I completely agree. It's hard to say with these young wide receivers. I feel like they're kind of up and down for me. I'm on the clock here.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts went at the 6'8". T.J. Hawkinson at the 6'9".
All right. While you make your pick, I'll quickly talk about TJ Hawkinson and the 4 spot. TJ Hawkinson was taken in the 6th round with the 9th overall pick. That is great value. Well done. I really love that pick. Uh, TJ Hawkinson is still a very young player and has a lot of potential. So I really, really enjoy that pick. Well done.
All right.
Badaki's on the clock here.
Yeah, I'm gonna take another receiver here, and I agree with you with all Chase Claypool's, Juju Smith. I'm not taking those guys, so I'm actually reaching a little bit. I think it's good value here. Kenny G with the Giants now. Obviously, if you go to the best available, according to Sleeper, Claypool, Rashad Bateman, Juju, Rondell Moore. I like Kenny G going there. I was hoping that Julio came around so I could take him as well, but obviously that wasn't the
Yeah.
case anymore. I didn't think anyone was gonna go all the way down for Julio, but yeah, I like Kenny G here in this position. It gives me two great wide receivers in AJ Brown and Kenny G. Two young. I have one young running back, Travis Etienne, Chris Carson, and then I got the GOAT, Patty and George Kittle. I mean, I think this is a strong start. Come on, imagine this was my team today.
Okay, so after your Kenny G pick, Kenny NYG, Julio Jones went off the board
Mm-hmm.
at the 6-11. This is good value for Julio this late. I like the pick. I think it's good value. And I think probably team two, Saquon, Travis Kelce, Aaron Jones, T. Higgins, Aaron Rodgers, and Julio Jones is the team that's set up the most to win right now, personally, in my opinion.
Okay.
And then at the turn, we have Kenneth Gainwell and Roberto Woods going off the clock.
Roberto Woods, come on.
Uh, Gainwell, I think it might have been too early, but at the same time, when you're picking out a turn, you have to reach sometimes. So I understand the pick. He's got a bright future if he lands in the right position. Juju Smith-Schuster is off the board at the 7-2. How do we feel about Juju's value? Because I don't think he's in Pittsburgh beyond this year, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's hard to say. It's just really hard to say in my opinion. I really don't know what's gonna happen with Juju. His value is up in the air for me right now, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna take
Okay.
a little
Who are you gonna
bit.
take?
I'm gonna take a little bit of a chance just because of recency bias, and I'm gonna take Rondell Moore. We saw what he's done in his pro day. That 40
Oh,
in that vertical was absolutely ridiculous. I think this is a little bit early, in my opinion.
oh
But
my gosh.
people keep sniping Zach here.
I feel like everyone here listens to the podcast because you guys just keep taking the people I want. Rashad Bateman goes off the board at 7-4, and so does my heart. My heart is gone. It's off
Mm,
my. It's not even attached to my chest
not even
anymore.
there anymore.
There's just an empty space now, just a void of silence and despair. Okay, I am now going to take a guy that I just downplayed, but now that he's fallen another round, I feel more comfortable taking him, hoping that Juju leaves this team after 1 year. And that team was, or that player is, Chase Claypool. Claypool, excuse me, is my wide receiver 2,
Okay.
which I think is still good value. A lot of opportunity. The only thing that worries me here with Chase, and it's what everyone's going to have to decide when they're drafting, is who's the quarterback after Big Ben, right?
Dwayne
Who's going to
Haskins,
be the guy throwing them the ball?
a young
It's not
talent.
going to be Dwayne
That's
Haskins.
a beautiful talent, I
Absolutely
believe.
not. Don't disrespect me like that. Um,
I don't know what team will
but
take him in the first round. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, I
I don't
wouldn't.
know. I mean, it's
I don't know.
probably not the team who took Danny Dimes, Daniel
Oh,
Jones.
no way, no way, no way.
Okay, Tyler Lockett is next off the board. Too high, but I think it was an auto pick. Ronald Jones at the 7-8. That's some pretty good value there. I think maybe just looking at the team construction, you should have maybe gone quarterback because you're starting two quarterbacks in this league. Justin Fields is the next player off the board at the 7-9. Fields is interesting because there's probably more upside than people realize. If he lands in the right position, let's say just for fun, he does land with the Falcons.
Okay.
There is probably not a quarterback I'd draft above him in a rookie redraft than Justin Fields if he lands in that offense with Atlanta. So while draft where these rookies land is very important, I
Okay.
just want to make sure we don't disrespect Justin Fields either, especially with the modern NFL. This guy wants to run a 4.40. He's probably going to be around there. That's the kind of quarterback you want for fantasy.
Yeah, I believe Justin Fields is an amazing talent. Oh, there goes Tua now, the other guy that I was gonna actually talk about.
Okay.
And I know Noah's
A
isn't
good
isn't
reason or
both. Like
okay.
there's good and bad. And I know Noah's in the chat here. He took Michael Pittman Jr. at the 7-10, Tua went to 7-11. How are you feeling of Tua? Because I see
Yeah.
there's Zach Wilson is still on the board, which is would you be
Yeah.
take? Let me ask you that question. How about that? How about we start there? Would you take Zach Wilson over Tua?
Yes, I would. I would take Trey Lance over Tua as well.
Okay.
I would
Tom Brady, maybe. Obviously,
maybe
he's
take
older.
Stafford. Tom Brady, no. He should be not valued high at all
Okay.
in Dynasty. But a player I want to quickly highlight that went in the 7th round, the end of the 7th, is Michael Pittman from Indiana. And I honestly have regret because I feel like I got caught up in this live stream. I should have drafted Michael Pittman instead of Chase Claypool. So great pick there. Great value. I really, really like that pick. And the only other thing I'll say about Tua is we could all be wrong. We could all be wrong. He could be the next quote unquote Drew Brees. But I'm at a place where I would rather take a chance on a guy like Trey Lance, like Zach Wilson, and see what I don't know just yet, if that makes sense.
Okay. I hear you on Tua, and I hear you with with decisions that you would make, but it's hard to say. I need one more year for Tua. We didn't see much from him, and I think
Yes,
that's the
I know,
hardest
and I
part.
know it's unfair. I know it's unfair.
That's really the
So,
hardest part in my opinion. Like he barely played any games,
yeah,
and when he did
I know
play,
it's unfair.
he got
Here's what I'll
benched.
say. Is Will Fuller the wide receiver 1 in Miami? Quickly. Is he the wide receiver 1 there this year?
I love that. I would love to say yes. I don't believe so, but I
Yeah.
would love to say yes.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, for a guy like Tua, who's the king of slants as a rookie, I don't know. Maybe this unlocks a part of his game, right? Maybe it
Yeah.
unlocks a part of his game,
Who knows? Who knows?
but it's a little bit worrying to me. I would love to see it work out though. Okay, in the 8th round, Noah Fant is at the 8-2, and then Mike Gesicki at the 8-3.
Right.
Both great picks. You need a tight end. Both have great upside. Is Gesicki or Fant the right guy to take there?
I would say Fant, just because, in I don't believe Drew Lock is the guy. So
Yeah,
now I think that they're gonna bring in another quarterback if they do resign or they do get a young quarterback in the draft, trade Drew
that's
Lock.
a that's a little preview of our of our podcast next week.
Yeah.
We have a mock draft we're doing, and the Broncos are going to get a quarterback. Who it is, you'll have to find out. You'll have to tune in and listen. Melvin Gordon at the 8-4. It's an interesting pick. I'm if I'm honest, Badaki, I'm completely avoiding Melvin Gordon
Yeah,
personally
I agree with you. I'm not taking
because
him.
I don't think that he will be the alone starter in that backfield this year or ever again. I think they're going to bring someone in. So personally, I'm avoiding him.
Yeah, I don't like Melvin Gordon at all. Period. That's all I have
Well,
to
that's
say.
just rude. That's just rude. That sounds like personal.
I think he was
Um,
great in his prime, but right now, deuces.
yeah. All right. I'm about to take my 3rd wide receiver, and I know that DJ Chark already went off the board, but I genuinely believe that Laviska Shenault should be the first Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver taken in a dynasty and a redraft league. So I'm going to take Laviska Shenault here. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is coming in. We saw a lot of talent from Laviska last year.
Yeah,
So I'm excited for what his future holds.
I like Laviska Shenault. I think he is an amazing talent. I think we saw. I think there's a lot of people in the fantasy community that are really excited about Laviska Shenault going into year 2, and I am as
Yeah.
well. Baker Mayfield at the
Baker
eight
Mayfield
here.
at the 8. Just while we wait for the next pick, everyone listening on podcast or watching live on YouTube, we're going to quickly recap all these teams at the end of this video. We're going to quickly give a draft grade for them, tell them what we might not have done, what we liked, and we'll be able to read out their teams for everyone to hear. So if you're watching live on YouTube, go ahead and drop a like. That would be much appreciated. And make sure that you are subscribed, trying to grow the community over here on YouTube. All right, Tyler Boyd is at the 8-9. Is that a good place to get value there for Tyler Boyd? There's another wide receiver I personally would have looked at instead of Boyd, but what are your thoughts there?
I don't mind Boyd, in my opinion. I think if Boyd came to me, I would have taken him. There's one guy I might reach for here, which I might take a risk on him, and that's going to be Jalen Rhaegar.
Okay, interesting.
He keeps climbing up for me, in my opinion. In my rankings, I think obviously with Jalen Hurts, new offense, these young receivers that they technically don't have yet, because I'm assuming they're going to draft a young receiver in the draft again, because all the old guys went Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson. I think Jalen Rhaegar is going to play a huge part in this offense.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's talent. We saw the talent last year. We just didn't see the offense mesh at all.
Yeah.
Raheem Mostert goes at the 8-11. I like this pick if you understand that you're only going to get 1 year maybe out of Raheem Mostert at this point. He's not a young running back. He's an old running back.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they brought in a running back through the draft from San Francisco. So I like it if you're in win now mode. And again, team 2, whoever's picking at 2, looks very much like a win now mode type team. So they might be trying to go for the championship in the first year and not worry about what happens later on.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson goes at the turn of the last pick of the 8th round. How do we feel about Zach Wilson there?
I
Good
personally,
value?
I personally don't mind it here. I would have taken. I see a couple people that I like, and I was going to take a quarterback, and my quarterback that I'm going to take is still there. If Thomas doesn't take that quarterback, because I need a second quarterback. I have 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, and another quarterback. So Jarvis Landry goes, and my quarterback here, for me, once again, it's a little bit different. Let's have some fun. I'm gonna go Trey Lance here, and let me tell you why I'm taking Trey Lance over Ryan Tannehill, Jared Goff, Matt Ryan, because I will definitely take Trey Lance over Kirk Cousins, Tom Brady, Daniel Jones, Carson Wentz, Derek Carr. Trey Lance here is coming for me. We know what he's capable of doing. I think we've seen his highlights.
Well, we know what his upside is.
Exactly.
We don't know what he will do in the NFL, but
exactly.
yeah, I agree. It's a fun pick and it makes sense in Dynasty. And I think he is way too low in ADP right now for a Dynasty startup. So I like the pick.
Okay.
Now, quickly, at the start of the 9th, before you took Trey Lance, Chase Edmonds goes off the board, a young running back who we assume will take the running back 1 role. Now, could they draft a running back and that dream would be completely shattered? Yeah, that could easily happen.
Yep.
But I really like this Chase Edmonds pick here because if he is a running back 1, which the head coach says he can be, you got a starting running back in a great offense in the 9th round.
Mm-hmm.
Really good pick. I like it. So the 9th round goes Chase Edmonds, Jarvis Landry, Trey Lance, which was your pick, and then Darnell Mooney is at the 9-4, which I think is beautiful value for a really talented young wide receiver. Showed some flashes last year. Don't love the quarterback situation, but could improve in the next couple years. And then Cortland Sutton is the next wide receiver off the board.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Sutton's value right before I'm about to make my pick?
I love Sutton here. I would have taken him earlier, to be honest. To be completely honest with you, I love his value. Once again, I believe he's going to have a better quarterback next year. No matter what, that quarterback is going to be better than Drew Lock. So I like his value. I think he's a tremendous receiver. Obviously, he was hurt and he missed all the last season. I think he's going to come back and bounce back.
All right. I'm at the position now where I think I'm going to go tight end. No, I'm not. I'm not going to go tight end. Sorry. Wow. Did you like that little swoop, swoop? I'm going to take a chance on a guy. I'm gonna take a chance and
Oh,
believe what everyone is saying.
well, time's up now.
That's not who I wanted, but I got Deontay Johnson.
Who would
I was
you?
hoping to draft AJ Dillon. I was hoping to draft AJ Dillon there
Okay.
because let's just say AJ Dillon's on my team because he got auto drafted, and I'm on auto draft now for some reason. So the reason I was going to take AJ Dillon there is because I don't think it's crazy to say there's a scenario where Aaron Jones is cut from that team in 2 years,
Okay.
which would leave AJ Dillon pretty involved. I'm not convinced that he's not going to be involved with Aaron Jones either. So I think it's good value to take a chance on a guy like that late in a draft. Ryan Tannehill goes at the 9-8. This is the first quarterback for this team. So you find yourself now swifting through some quarterbacks that you can't necessarily rely on in a dynasty league, but that's why we mock, right?
That's why we mock.
Okay, Denzel Mims off the board.
Yeah. Then right before we go to Denzel Mims, I was gonna say AJ Dillon. One thing I was kind of pondering through my head as you said that. You said Aaron Jones leaves in 2 years. That means AJ Dillon is going to be
Could
in.
happen.
Yeah. Let's say hypothetically he leaves in 2 years. Aaron Jones or Aaron Jones leaves in 2 years. AJ Dillon is in his year 3 of his contract or year 3 of his
Yeah.
rookie contract.
Yeah.
That means you have a guy who could potentially get traded to another team,
Totally.
get cut,
Or get cut. He could be a guy that they don't resign.
exactly. How is that a chance you're willing to take here? Like other than like a
In the
Denzel.
9th round? Yeah. I mean, in the 9th round, looking at the running backs on the board, would I have taken Zach Moss, James Conner, Fournette, Gurley, Singletary over a guy like AJ Dillon? I don't think so.
Okay. Just wondering. Just wondering.
No. I sound very offensive right then. But no, it's just trying to express my points. Okay. After Denzel Mims at the 9-9, we have Zach Moss, Henry Ruggs, which I think is a really low-key nice pick there that late. James Conner, and then Irv Smith. Irv Smith is a super interesting tight end. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to pan out for him, but I'm interested to see. I think it could be a nice 10th round. Let's see what happens with this guy type pickup.
It's
Talent's there.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Who is there? You said?
I said the talent is there.
Oh, the talent's there. I thought you said somebody else is there. I was like, who are you looking at? Yeah.
No. Talent is there.
You know who hasn't gone off the board in the tight end position?
Don't tell people yet because I'm about to draft, bro. Don't tell people who hasn't gone off the board.
Well, hold on. I'm looking. I'm seeing somebody here that I feel like you might take a chance on because you don't got a tight end yet. But
yeah, but you don't need to tell nobody about nothing, okay?
Take it. Let's see if he gets
keep
there.
Seal your lips, brother. Seal your lips.
Let's see if we're on the same page here because that'll be interesting. Because yeah, interesting.
Okay, interesting. All right, just as we're waiting, Irv Smith went off the board and Marquise Brown went off the board as well, followed by Mike Davis. Really, really good, fun pick there. Because what if the Falcons don't draft a running back? What if Mike Davis is the guy for the next 2 years in a great offense?
Imagine Mike Davis is the workhorse for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yep, I know. Could be interesting. Michael Carter is the next running back off the board. Don't sleep on Michael Carter. That Carolina backfield was the best backfield in college football last year. And that's because both of them are elite talents. Not sure if he's going to go too late to Warner, I guess, play time.
Right.
So that's what I'm worried about, but it could happen.
Yeah, I'm interested.
So this is the last round we're doing. So we're wrapping up the last round for the podcast. We will go ahead and finish until round 12 on YouTube, but we're just wrapping up the last round for the podcast. And we will quickly pause here and recap everyone's teams. And damn it. Why? Why does this keep happening?
People know, bro. People know.
Brevin Jordan is off the board. I was hoping to take a shot on him as my first tight end, but I'm going to take a more solidified tight end here. someone who I know has a role in an offense and is still a young guy. I'm taking Dallas Goddard as my tight end one. Don't love it, but I feel like there's still some upside there. So,
Yeah, I agree.
would you have taken a guy like Pat Fryermouth above Dallas Goddard here, considering it's a rookie draft or it's a dynasty draft?
Yeah, I personally would have. I don't think Dallas. I think Dallas Goddard is going to play a role here in Philly, but I don't think his role will be as massive as. I just don't think his role is going to be big. Period. I think maybe tops he can probably get 5 touchdowns and maybe get a total of, I don't know, let's say 50 targets throughout the year. Maybe that's a little bit low, but I will have to reevaluate. I need to see my rankings, but I don't believe Dallas Goddard is. I would have taken Pat Fryermouth over Dallas Goddard, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
Curtis Samuel
And
here.
all this depends on where people land in the draft as well.
Yeah, I think so as well. Curtis Samuel at the 10-8. Good wide receiver too.
Yeah. And
Good
you know
flex
what?
option.
This is a clear sign of ADP not being updated because
Mm-hmm.
Curtis Samuel shouldn't go this late. Still a young, talented wide receiver, could play the Swiss Army knife role in that Washington offense, which is going to be really fun to watch this year. I like the pick. I think it's a great, great value pick there in the 10th round. Pat Fryermouth is off the board at the 10-9.
Mm-hmm.
Really good pickup there. Pat Fryermouth is what has been called Baby Gronk. We like to call him Firemouth because it's way easier to say, like a dragon, like Firemouth.
Fire.
It's just easier to say than Fryermuth, right? So if you guys want to start using that nickname, feel free. Like you don't even have to shout us out, just Firemouth.
Yeah.
But who are you taking here, Badaki? You're on the clock.
Yeah, I'm on the clock. Chuba Hubbard coming to me
Chubb,
here.
Chubba.
A nice, beautiful young running back. He keeps climbing up my rankings. He's a nice young running back. If you watch his highlights, it's fantastic. I believe his his talent has to go to a place where he's going to be able to be utilized.
Yeah,
He,
makes sense.
I once again just watch his highlight, just like Javonte Williams. Once you see Javonte Williams highlight, you're like, whoa. Once you see Chuba Hubbard's highlights, you're like, whoa. Okay, it's the
You
exact
can
same thing.
see the flashes. You can see the potential
Mm-hmm.
of what could be, right?
Yeah, and that's why I love Chuba Hubbard here in this position. That kind of wraps it up. I guess if we're going to end it for the podcast here, I have great value in my running backs, Travis Etienne, Chris Carson, Chuba Hubbard, 2 young guys, and then I have technically my oldest wide
Why
receiver
don't
is
you go
Kenny
ahead
G.
and read your team out for everyone and start with your quarterbacks, then go running back, wide receivers, tight
Yeah,
ends.
so as a
Who do you
quarterback,
got here?
my 2 quarterback is Patrick Mahomes, Trey Lance, and then my running backs is Travis Etienne, Chris Carson, and Chuba Hubbard. My wide receivers are AJ Brown, Kenny Galladay, Rondell Moore, and Jalen Rhaegar. So I like. I think I have a good even mix of young and old. Really, my only old person is Kenny G.
Yeah,
So,
Kenny G, and I guess you could technically say Carson as well.
oh, I
His
have
fan.
Kittle. I didn't even say Kittle. I have George Kittle as well.
Yeah, Kittle's a great pick. All right, let's highlight my team. I focus on running backs and quarterbacks to start off because I believe there's a lot of depth in wide receivers
Hmm.
at the end of drafts here. So Jonathan Taylor, Antonio Gibson, Najee Harris is the 3 running backs I'm starting my dynasty league with. I'm hyped on that. I've got 2 amazing quarterbacks, which I can start at the Superflex, Justin Herbert, Deshaun Watson, and then my wide receivers, I have Jalen Waddle, Chase Claypool, Laviska Shenault, Deontay Johnson, and my tight end is my weak spot with the Dallas Goddard.
Look,
Still could be a great pick. I think I did well.
there's still
You
other people
guys
on
let
the
me know
board.
what you think.
I think there's
Well,
still
I think
some
we should
value
make a
there.
post, Badaki. We should make a post of who won the mock draft, me or you. So I'm interested to see what people would say. But what's a team that automatically sticks out to you here? Whose team can you look at and say, interesting. I like this team. I like what they've done with it.
Okay, let me kind of look through it really fast. Um,
I'll start off then,
okay,
actually.
okay.
I really, really like Paulie D's team. Tyreek Hill, Cam Akers, Clyde was a great value pick there, and same with Dak Prescott. I think starting off the first 4 rounds like that is a really great way to start. You have guys who can win you weeks every week in your first 4 rounds. I love it. Mark Andrews, I think it's a good pick still. I'm just not convinced that I don't know. I'm just not fully sold on him. I think DJ Moore is a great value pick there as well. You got Justin Fields as your quarterback too. I don't like the Melvin Gordon pick, but I love the upside in Denzel Mims and Michael Carter. So I really feel like that team is set up pretty decently. Is there a
Right.
team that sticks out to
I
you?
think the only team that sticks out to me, and he's only weak in one position, in my opinion, is G Baby. I love Dalvin Cook, Stephon Diggs, and then Zeke. Obviously, is probably my biggest question mark on this team. Then he goes Jamar Chase in the 4-8, Kyle
Yeah,
Pitts in the
it's a good squad.
5-5. Yeah, and then he has two good quarterbacks. And, Baker Mayfield, we kind of saw a upside of Baker Mayfield last year. And then Jalen Hurts, we believe in his second year, he's going to be great. I think his only weak positions are Zeke and Kareem Hunt. I think Kareem Hunt's good, but obviously it's all about Nick Chubb in that offense. And then with two good wide receivers, Cortland Sutton to finish off and Curtis Samuel. So
Yeah,
I kind of like that. Once again,
yeah.
there's some things he can improve on, but I like the overall gist of that team.
Okay, what we're gonna do quickly, because we're gonna end the podcast here, is we're going to quickly in the podcast tell you picks that were too high in our opinion and picks that were great value. So let's start with picks that were too high. Okay. A name that comes to me automatically is Justin Jefferson at the 1-4. But I know he wouldn't have been available if he came back to that 4 spot, right? At the 2-9, he wouldn't have been available. Another name that comes to me is Hunter Henry at 5-12, Mac Jones at 4-1. I feel like that's too high for those players.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious if there's any that stand out to you.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. The one for me was Mac Jones. That was the first one I can see off the top of my head. I think another one I see is, it's kind of hard to say. I think Keenan Allen was a bit high as well, 412. I think he would have gone, and you could have gotten more.
But let me ask you quickly, because Michael Thomas went at 4-6. Are
Mm-hmm.
you taking Michael Thomas over Keenan Allen? Because I'm not. I'm personally not.
No, I'm not taking Michael Thomas, but I would have taken CeeDee Lamb. Oh no, that was before. My bad.
Yeah.
I would have taken Brandon Ayuk over Keenan Allen. I would have taken.
Yeah.
I think I would have gone a little bit more younger in that area instead of Keenan Allen, because I think Keenan Allen could have fell a little bit further down. But who
Yeah.
knows?
For
Who
sure.
knows?
For sure. And let's talk about quickly some great value picks. I think Chase Edmonds in the 9th round, great value pick if that works out for you. Mike Davis in the 10th round, that's another great value pick. Is there any that stand out to you as we're looking here?
Great value picks. Honestly, I think AJ Brown 210. I know that's kind of biased, but I love that in the 210. Uh,
Okay.
I
I mean,
also
I did amazing. No.
No,
Okay.
not even that. Like, imagine getting AJ Brown in the 210, George Kittle in the third
Yep,
round. Like, I expect these guys to go higher.
for
Obviously, this
sure.
is
And
dynasty
they probably
redraft.
will.
Yeah, and they probably will, and it's a little bit different. Like, I would expect more quarterbacks to go earlier, but I mean, another guy. Who do I see here?
Alvin Ridley, 3-7. I think that's good value,
Calvin
personally.
Ridley. I like that.
TJ Hawkinson at 6-9. Some
CeeDee
good values,
Lamb,
but
4-2.
CeeDee Lamb was a good value at 4-2. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this mock draft with us or listening via podcast. Again, if you want to be a part of these mocks, it's super easy. Okay. There's 2 ways you can do it. You can either join our Facebook group or our Discord server. Our Discord server is going to start popping off. I can just feel it. So, link is in our bio, or you can just go to solo.to/fantasylandfootball. If you join either the Facebook group or the Discord server, you will always be notified when we go live and we have these mock drafts together. So don't miss out on it. And the other last thing that I will say is we would love to have people be a part of it. So, just do your best to be a part of it, because this was really fun.
Yeah,
Okay, so let's go ahead and continue for YouTube the rest of this draft.
easy. Sounds good. We can chill. Nah, jokes. Jonnu Smith. How about we start? Chuba Herbert at the 10-10, Amari St. Brown at the 10-11 there, which I think is great. I would love to see where he's gonna land Amari St. Brown and then Jonnu Smith at the 10-12. Jonnu Smith going before or after Hunter Henry. I personally would have. I think that's great value for Jonnu Smith, in my personal opinion. I think he's going to be the main piece in that offense instead of Hunter Henry. I think they're both going to play pieces, but he's going to have the bigger role. So we're going to see
Okay.
what's going to happen. It's your white boy drafting here at the 11-1. Kadarius Toney.
Yeah. Good pick.
Yeah,
Good value there.
11-1. So look, how do you feel? I know you love Kadarius Toney. Where do you think he is going to kind of? What team do you see him flourishing in?
Flourishing.
Yeah, flourishing.
You know what? The Saints would be really fun.
Okay.
Like, imagine Tony fell to New Orleans and Jameis was the starter there, and Tony could play the slot role maybe alongside Michael Thomas. That could be really, really fun.
Okay.
So there's a couple teams that stand out to me. The Jets is where I think he could go. Not that I want him to go there, but I think he could go there. I think he could go to Miami. If
Okay.
he was in Miami, he could maybe be a weapon for Tua, but again, it's just hard to know if Tua is going to be that guy. But I could see that happening for sure. You're on the clock here, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my guy, and that's Debo Samuel. I love Debo Samuel. I think he's look. Hopefully, he does something special this year. He can stay healthy. He's still a young guy.
Yeah, Debo. I like the pick. I like the pick of Debo. All right, Will Fuller goes off the board there at the 11-4. That's good value for Will Fuller. We don't know what he's going to be beyond
Yeah, look,
this year, and that's what's scary. But
we need to remember that all these guys are gonna change. Okay, all
yeah,
these guys' rankings, because towards the end in sleeper, I can tell you a tight end that's hasn't even been taken, and that I think he would go a lot higher, but could be good value. So
hmm
who knows? Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? I don't think I'm gonna
who
get
knows?
Debo Samuel at the 11-3. I don't think anyone's gonna get CeeDee Lamb at the 4-2. Like things like that. I just don't see it happening. But
Yeah,
this is the whole
no,
point of
I get
mock.
it.
It's fun. It's fun.
Exactly. Whole point of mock drafts right there. Okay, I'm on the clock, and at this point, I'm just looking at value because I have good coverage all over the board, in my opinion. So I'm probably going to take Damian Harris because I feel like he's a guy I don't think has an amazing future beyond 2 years, but he's a guy I could start if I'm in a position where Najee isn't a starter just yet,
Right.
and I need to start someone during the playoffs or to get a win on a bye week. So I like Damian Harris here. Still a young player as well. Lots of opportunities for him to succeed.
Yeah. Damian Harris is interesting. Let me see who else is on the board. Even though I'm trying to give everyone the opportunity to see Damian Harris. Let's see. Look at another running backs. Todd Gurley. Whoa. Devin Singletary. Keyshawn Vaughn. Trace Sermon. Interesting. Tony Pollard. Interesting. Ramondre Stevenson. Still on the board. LaMichael Pirine. Wow. On the rise. Nah, jokes.
Wow, LaMichael Pirine. What a guy.
Imagine LaMichael Pirine freaking being the guy next year.
Pause your audio, by the way, Badaki, if you're still recording.
Ah, okay. Forgot about that.
Same. Okay, Todd Gurley goes off the board, but that's an auto pick. Probably shouldn't be that high. Don't know that he should even be drafted, if I'm
Yeah,
honest.
I don't think so either, in my opinion.
We have Noah who's upset about the Tua hate. And
Why is he upset?
honestly,
What's happened?
yeah, he went 6-3. Here's the thing though. He went 6-3. That's great for the team. It doesn't mean I'm excited about him in fantasy football. I think I was super excited about the Dolphin options when Ryan Fitzpatrick was there, but he hasn't really shown, other than a couple games with Mike Gesicki, that he can support fantasy value.
Right.
And it's not hate, it's just realistic. We want to be wrong. I want to see Tua succeed. I really, really want to see him succeed. I think he's got an amazing story, and I would love to be wrong about him. If I am wrong about him, I'll hold my hands up, be like, he proved me wrong 100%. But it's not hate, it's just an opinion.
Yeah. I think you're right. It's not hate. It's just an opinion. And Look, I think we all, at least me personally, I don't know about Zach. I can't speak for Zach, but I think I want Tua to succeed. I think I do agree with Zach of how like they shouldn't have taken him in and out of those games to kind of build
Yeah.
confidence. And it's good to hear other people's perspective because like obviously we were on Clubhouse and I
Oh
asked
yeah.
another big Miami fan about how he felt and he believes Tua is the same thing. And I've made me I don't know if it's a trend, but it's not a trend. You guys generally believe
No.
Tua is a guy, just like I believe Danny Dimes could be the guy if he has the right pieces around him. So
Yikes.
you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
I
No.
love
For
Danny
sure.
Dimes. Now I don't know what you mean. I'm talking more broadly
Yeah.
with the analytics.
Honestly,
Uh,
like, here's what I will say. Last thing I'll say about Tua, because I don't want to hate on him. This is the year that he has to show us. Was the fifth overall pick, sixth overall pick in the draft worthy of you being taken there, right? Like, this is your chance to show us because we gave you Will Fuller. A bunch of other pieces are going to come in through the draft, and there's no excuses now, right? Like, you're either going to be the guy or you're not the guy we thought you were. So it's
yeah.
a big year for Dolphins fans. There's a lot riding on Dolphins fans this year and the Dolphins organization, and I dare to say that the organization is probably a little bit anxious to see how this is going to turn out. I
Yeah.
think most Dolphins fans could say the same. As much as we totally believe in him, we believe in him, but are you anxious at all? Because maybe that's the reason why we're not so sold yet as well. But yeah,
I think
it's going to
this.
be fun to see
Yeah.
the storylines in this year.
And I think that's the cool part. Like it's gonna be fun to watch. You know, let's say they don't get Penei Sewell and they go with a Jamar Chase or Devonta Smith. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be exciting. If any of these
So
people will go.
I agree.
So
Yeah,
and
I
that can
agree.
change the offense completely. We saw that defense. It was coming up. The offensive line, obviously, I think you guys made some moves, but was it Isaiah
Yeah,
Wilson didn't pan out, so that's kind of lucky. I think they'll get somebody. Who knows?
I think in my opinion, perfect draft for the Dolphins goes like this: Penei Sewell with the third pick, or if they trade out Rashawn Slater, whatever. And then with their second first round pick, if they got Bateman, oh, that would be a prime way for them to draft. Here's what I'll say about Burrow, because there's a question in the chat. If Burrow had a full season and played similarly, would you say the same thing about him? And here's the thing: the eye test is much more important for a year one quarterback than wins and losses, in my opinion. And I could be wrong. This is just how I normally scout a player. What's the eye test say? And the eye test says for Joe Burrow that there is a lot of promise on the way. Keep in mind, if Joe Burrow was in Miami, I hate to say this again, I really think he would have had a much better year than what we saw out of Tua. If you swap those guys entirely, I'm not sure that we're even talking about Tua anymore,
Yeah.
personally. Is that harsh?
No.
Probably. It's probably pretty harsh.
I mean, I don't know. Is it that harsh? Look, I don't know, bro. I don't know. We don't know. We don't know. I think we both. I don't even think we're going to see it next year. We're not going to see a full season. I don't believe we're going to see a full season of Joe, and we're going to see a full season of Tua. So until they can both have a full season in the book and we can both compare it, then we can be like, okay, this is what can happen. But we really just don't know.
Yeah.
Evan
I
Ingram
can't
there.
believe Ramondre Stevenson is still here. I'm going to take him. I think it's a great value pick.
Yeah,
Young
I like
rookie to
Ramondre.
look out for Ramondre Stevenson this year. I get him with the last pick. I'm hyped about that.
Yeah, I like Ramondre Stevenson. I think Evan Ingram is good here at the 12-5. Literally, you can get Evan Ingram in the last pick. Obviously, he's nothing crazy, but he can finish in the top 15,
Yeah,
especially,
Evan Ingram's a good value pick there too.
like
Last
that's
thing I'll
crazy.
say about Tua is just quarterbacks in general when they come into the league. The league is not the way it was 10 years ago,
Mm,
15 years ago. When a quarterback comes into the league, they're expected to produce straight away. And if they can't produce straight away, then whether it's right or whether it's wrong, an organization will move on from them, most likely. If they can't produce within the first 2 years, there's going to be doubt that starts to creep in.
yeah,
And The same thing could have been said about Josh Rosen.
He took
People were
Andrew Luck.
upset.
Sorry.
People were upset about Josh Rosen, about taking Kyler Murray. You just took Josh Rosen last year. Why are you taking Kyler Murray? You just don't always hit it right. And this is a different generation of NFL. Your quarterback has to be able to perform straight away or within the second year. That's when they are judged the most. And that's
Oh,
why I think
I
Dwayne
need your pick.
Haskins was set up terribly as well. I think he had a lot of talent. It was just way too early. Why did Andrew Luck go off the board?
I think that's funny, and I need to pick, and I don't think I have enough time. French toast. I have time.
I can't believe it. Andrew Luck goes at the 12-9. Is that good value?
Bro, everyone takes Andrew Luck in a draft, no matter what. Some people, I know
That's
people
hilarious.
that have him in leagues that he's taking up a spot. He's actually just taking up a spot
Yeah,
because they believe he's gonna come back, which is
I
hilarious.
agree. That's hilarious. I love it. Well, hey, thanks everyone for joining the mock. I actually really appreciate it. If you could drop a like on this video, that would mean so much. If you could
Yeah,
subscribe, that would mean so much. And turn on those notifications so you know when we're going to go live next and you can watch along with us or even mock along with us.
yeah,
This was fun. This was really fun, Badaki. Way better than yesterday.
yeah. Way better than a little bit of technical difficulties in the beginning, but we sorted it out quick. Once again, solo.to Fantasyland fam. If you want to be part of these live mocks, Facebook group, join our Facebook group so you can get notified
Yep.
first, or our Discord channel where we have everyone in this mock draft that's pretty much in our Discord channel, which is awesome. We have a nice little community going there, and it's growing day by day, and we're excited. We cannot wait for year 2 to officially launch. We're
Yep.
pumped.
All right, guys. Have a good rest of your day. We'll see you on the next mock or on the next show, the next pod. Yeah. Deuces, Badaki, send us off.
Deuce deuce and a bubble goose. Don't talk because not joking.
This dude's throwing he's throwing like shade at me. What's going on?